Hey, what's up, guys? Coming back to you this morning with another What's Next. This one is on WBC interim heavyweight champion Dillian Whyte of the United Kingdom. Dillian Whyte last fought in December on the Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz rematch card, where he got either a 10 or 12 round decision win over, I believe it was Marius Whyte, to just stay busy. He had just been cleared of any wrongdoing in his fight with Oscar Rivas when he tested positive for banned substances, and he was just cleared, and he came back. He was a little out of shape, kind of got a workman-like decision over Whyte. It was actually a decent fight, and it wasn't a blowout, but again, it kind of was thrown together last minute. He got the win. So now he is the interim. He was reinstated as the interim WBC champion. He has until, whoever the champion is, has until February of 2021 to face Dillian Whyte. So, and next, Dillian Whyte was going to defend that interim title against former champion Alexander Povetkin. That was supposed to take place in May. The fight has been pushed back. The projected new date is July 2nd. And we'll see if that fight can come together. I hope it does in July, but it does look like one way or the other he's going to be facing Povetkin next. Now, Dillian Whyte will go in the favorite into this fight, as he should. Povetkin, good fighter, but good heavyweight, but is older. He's about 40-41, but I do think he's a very live underdog. He's a very talented heavyweight. Povetkin's been banging around since 2007. He's been is when he, I believe, 6 or 7 when he scored his career best win. I think it was 07 when he knocked out Chris Bird and then beat Eddie Chambers in the finals of a 4-way tournament. He's been banging around since then and been one of the top 3 or 4 heavyweights in the world since then, up until a couple years ago, when he lost to Anthony Joshua for the title. So Povetkin, definitely a live underdog, should be a very good fight. I do believe Dillian Whyte will win. Excuse me, but he shouldn't overlook Povetkin. Now, given I'm predicting that fight is pretty much going to happen next, this What's Next is going to be on what does he do after that. Is it going to be the winner of Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder for the WBC title later this year? It probably should be, and I'm leaning towards that it will be, but just in case maybe Anthony Joshua swings in and persuades the winner to face him next for the heavyweight title, I'm going to look at what's next for Dillian Whyte after Alexander Povetkin, given that he beats Povetkin and retains the interim title. So let's run through the top 10 and see what's next after Povetkin for Dillian Whyte. Start with number 1, the undefeated WBC champion, Tyson Fury. This fight definitely could happen, and I'm leaning towards this is the next fight we're going to see after Povetkin for Dillian Whyte, because Fury's going to get the third fight with Deontay Wilder in the fall, late summer, fall. They're talking September, possibly October. They're going to do that, and then after that fight, it's kind of wide open. These two guys could lock horns after that. So I really believe that fight's going to be mandated, and it's going to happen because it's going to happen in it's a United Kingdom type fight. Dillian Whyte is a top end heavyweight, very good heavyweight, and he deserves his shot, and it's a mandatory fight. So I really do think this is going to happen, because I think Tyson Fury is going to beat Deontay Wilder again and retain the title. So gotta wait and see, but this fight looks very likely. Number 2, Anthony Joshua, a rematch for Dillian Whyte. I don't believe it happens next for a couple reasons. One, I think Joshua and Fury gonna want to clean up their mandatories before they face off against each other. So Dillian Whyte's gonna be the mandatory to the WBC title because he's the interim champ. So he's gonna fight the winner of Fury or Wilder, which I think is gonna be Fury. And then Anthony Joshua, after he's done with Kubrat Pulev, likely gonna be at the end of July. He's got Alexander Usyk next, and I think he's gonna want to clear that one up before the end of the year, possibly early next year, and then him and Fury can focus on the undisputed title after they get done with their mandatories. I think that makes more sense, builds up the fight. Maybe they'll get a deal in place ahead of time, and it makes a ton of sense to do it that way, and I think that's the way they're going to do it. So I don't see Anthony Joshua being next for Dillian Whyte. Number 3 is Deontay Wilder, the former WBC champion. If he can pull off the win over Tyson Fury, then I think him and Dillian Whyte could absolutely happen right after that. But would Fury want a 4th fight, and would Wilder give him a 4th fight after that? If Wilder knocks Fury out in their 3rd fight, I don't think he's going to want to do a 4th fight with Fury, at least not next. The WBC will probably force the fight with Dillian Whyte, and I think there's a good chance Wilder and Whyte fight if Wilder pulls off the win over Fury, which he definitely could. Wilder's got that one-punch power, so he definitely could. So I could see it very possible. Number 4 is Andy Ruiz Jr. Dillian Whyte offered the fight to Andy Ruiz. He did. So I really think by the time all this stuff is cleared up with the pandemic and Dillian Whyte faces Povetkin, if he beats him, Andy Ruiz comes back and gets a win. And for Dillian Whyte, is he going to want to face a guy like Ruiz prior to the mandatory fight with Wilder, with the winner of Wilder Fury? He might. Andy Ruiz has a good name now. And Dillian Whyte almost got Andy Ruiz to sign on to fight him next. So I really think Andy Ruiz would be interested because it's a line straight to the world title, to a world title shot. And I think Andy Ruiz would be interested. And Dillian Whyte doesn't want to wait around forever. He's proven that, and he's willing to risk it to prove he's the best. And I think him and Andy Ruiz could happen. Number 5, Luis Ortiz. As much as I would love to see this fight, I don't think Dillian Whyte would risk it against Ortiz, because Ortiz is a skilled, powerful heavyweight, and I think it's just a bad matchup for Dillian Whyte, and Whyte knows that. Plus, Ortiz doesn't have the name that Andy Ruiz and some of the other guys have to take a risk prior to a mandatory title shot. I don't see this one being after Povetkin. Could happen, but I doubt it. Number 6 is undefeated, former undisputed cruiserweight champ, Oleksandr Usyk. I'm not seeing this one. I love Usyk. He's one of my favorite fighters in boxing right now. Top 5 pound for pound, but he's lined up for a WBO title shot against Anthony Joshua. And if he were to even, against the world champion, next he's likely facing Derek Chisora, and then after that he's lined up to face the unified champion, which I believe is going to be Anthony Joshua. If Usyk and Joshua lock horns for the mandatory, and Usyk pulls out the upset, would he face Dillian Whyte next? I doubt it, even though they're promoted by the same people. I doubt it, because we're probably going to see a rematch between Usyk and Joshua if that upset were to occur. But you never know. I wouldn't completely rule it out because they are promoted by the same people, but I don't think it's going to happen. Number 7 is Dillian Whyte. Number 8 is a rematch with Joseph Parker, the former world champion. They're promoted both by Matchroom, but Parker isn't in Whyte's, isn't on Whyte's radar right now. And the reason why is their first fight was a fucking war. It was a very good heavyweight bout. Whyte got out with a very close decision win in a fight he almost got knocked out in late in the fight by Parker. And he doesn't have to take this fight right now. He doesn't. He's got a direct line to a heavyweight title shot if he beats Povetkin. Why risk it against Joseph Parker, who's not, let's be honest, I love Parker, but he's not a big name. So I don't think he would risk it against Parker, even though they're both in Matchroom. That's the only reason I think possibly it could happen after Povetkin, but I doubt it. Now the 3-way tie for 9th, Kubrat Pulev, not seeing it. Pulev, I think, is going to get destroyed against Anthony Joshua, and there would be no reason for Whyte to face him. If Pulev put up a very good fight, maybe, but I doubt he does, so I don't see this one. Michael Hunter, he is promoted by Matchroom. If he wants to stay busy and face a guy, down in the top 10 because he's got to wait around for the winner of Wilder Fury, maybe, but does he want to take that risk? I think it's a risk worth taking if he's just trying to fill time in, but I don't think the fight's going to happen. And then Alexander Povetkin. Is there a chance he faces Povetkin again if the first fight is really good? Possible, but I don't think so. If the first fight's good and he beats him, he's probably going to want to just wait around and not risk it again against the old man Povetkin. So that's it. All right, so that's it for the top 10 for Dillian Whyte. Now, what do I think he's going to do next? Well, we already know he's facing Povetkin. After that, I really do feel like he's going to get the title shot against the winner of Wilder Fury. If he doesn't, I think Andrew Ruiz is a hot option for him, or Michael Hunter, one of those guys with Matchroom. Not too risky, but risky enough, and a big fight. And, we'll see what happens. So Be prepared to watch Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin next for the WBC interim heavyweight title. All right, that's the what's next on my number 7 heavyweight in the world, Dillian Whyte. Hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.